This is a typical carburetor on your Cadillac 390s, 429s, etc. This one happens to be a Rochester. They have cars as well. So we all know how to adjust the choke, but when there's still continuous choke problems, we pull this off and we see carbon, soot, rust, etc. So next step is to take your heat riser tube off here, look inside, there's rust, carbon, soot, etc. inside here. Where's that coming from? Take your intake manifold off, flip it over. You'll see the tube that runs from here all the way through, that heats up, that allows the hot air to come up through that tube for your choke. So it's often cracked, severed, etc. Doesn't mean your intake manifold is junk, it just means it's time to replace that tube. So it's not that hard. You basically want to take extra long drill bits. Some people use a punch. I prefer the drill bits. You always want to start a little smaller. You put it in, start drilling it out. The smaller piece will come out first, and then continue on. Just have patience. If not, let a trained technician do it. But this tube is available at cjclassiccadillacparts.com and many other Classic Cadillac parts. So don't have to replace the intake manifold, just this tube. Once it's all cleared out, you don't take a punch, nice and smooth. It doesn't want to go in, too loose. It's got to be in with a little bit of force, maybe even a brass hammer, and tap it through. That's all you have to do. We're going to start with the smaller drill bit, like I said. So you can see we got the first part of our tube out. Okay, and you're going to notice what's inside here. Half the times these things are rotted out. This right here, it's the thickness of your dipstick. It's twisted. It's there to add turbulence to the air being drawn in. You don't have to have that. Like I said, the majority of the time that's just rotted out. But if you're really hell-bent on having it, you can sacrifice a dipstick, twist it, or find some metal at Home Depot and give it a little bit of a twist. But that's what you're going to find as you start to drill into it or punch into it. If it's solid like this, try to get it out and try to reuse it. All right, so if it does want to come, you basically just start pulling, twisting. You can actually see it coming out. It's going to get stuck, but you can actually see where it's twisted. So that's what's physically what's in there. It's there to add the turbulence to the air. And like I said, you just take your angled needle nose pliers, get in there and keep working it. If you feel the penetrating oil is going to help you, go with the penetrating oil. But like I said, majority of the times these were just rotted out. We got lucky that this one's actually solid. All right, so we were able to get it out. Sometimes you can just kind of give a little twist and unscrew it almost, but this is physically what it is. So the air hits it as it's being pulled in, spins it around, gives it some turbulence. Like I said, it's great if it's not rotted to pieces. But if you don't have one, it's not the end of the world. You just adjust the choke, not so tight. I haven't had any problems not reinstalling one of these, but as you can see, this is physically what it is. Nothing more than a spiral piece of metal, probably the thickness of a dipstick actually. Okay, so once you kind of guide the tube outward, you basically want to just take a screwdriver and just basically tap it, let it come through the opening, and you'll see it coming right out. Give the other end a little bit of a drill, but so you have to fight with the very last piece. A little WD-40 or penetrating oil wouldn't hurt, but we're just going to do it this way for the video. And that's it, it's out. So now I'm going to take my long drill bit, just clean it out, make sure there's no rust inside there trapping everything, then we'll tap the new one in. Just stick the drill bit through, especially if it's clean, you don't need the drill. So you can do it by hand to make sure there's nothing that's obstructing it before you put the new tube in. And, that's all it is. It's just an extra long drill bit. If you want to know where I got it from Snap-on. They're glad to take your money every week, trust me. So just doing the video to show you real quick, but basically don't forget to blow out any rust, any shavings, anything with compressed air. Normally if this was a customer's car that we were doing in the shop, this would be sandblasted, and then ready for prep paint, etc. after the tube is in. So, but what you want to do is put the tube in right where the hole is. Okay, it's going to be a nice snug fit. and then we're going to start to give it some taps. Okay, so as you can see, we're putting the tube in. It is a tight fit, so if it feels like it's really, really snug, that's the way it's supposed to be. You don't want it falling out while you're driving. So, you know, a brass hammer is ideal, but like I said, we're just making this quick video for you guys. So we're physically putting the screwdriver in through the other side. Screwdriver is going into the tube, so it's going to help give it a little bit of guidance. As you can see, it's coming out the other side. Obviously, you want to trim it when it's done, not before, because you can always take off. You can't just add more on. And there you have it. So the tube is installed. As you can see, this is the area before where it was damaged, cracked, broken. So, but again, this intake is now good and usable, and you won't have any more problems with your choke. So for this tube and other parts, visit us at cjclassiccadillacparts.com.